Hello and welcome to another episode of Beer Man's No Bull Beer Reviews. Today, I have a beer from a new brewery that I have not done a review for yet. At least I don't believe so. It's from one of the Trappist breweries, St. Bernardus. St. Bernardus, however you want to say it. This is their Belgian Wit Ale, or it's just called Wit. See right there. So the reason I picked this up is I have been listening to the Beerist podcast, which I recommend to anybody. They do a great job. But I started listening to their earlier episodes, and they had this beer on like a couple different shows for different reasons, and everyone said that like this was by far the best wit beer that they had ever had. And I thought about it, and like I've had the St. Bernardus Abbott 12, so like that, and maybe even any their other like Trappist Belgian style beers, but I honestly don't think I've ever had this, and this is definitely a classic. So, with all the praise that they were giving it, and I just was walking through the beer aisles the one day, and I saw they had cans of it. It was only a couple bucks, so I figured I would give it a go. So. Like I said, this is a Belgian wit beer, and I don't know if you can tell, but it's like slightly a stubby can. I guess they go by the same way that they do their bottles in 330 milliliters as opposed to, I forget, 355, I think is 12 ounces. So this is a 11.2 ounce can instead of a 12 ounce can, which is kind of goofy, and is 5.5 ABV, so. Gonna crack it open and see what we got here. But I will say I'm really excited for this. Just given the hype that they've had, and I honestly can't remember the last time I had like a really good quality Belgian wit. You know, generally if I want something even in this remotely in this realm, I want to reach for like a really good German Hefeweizen. But I will say Belgian wit beers were the first style that really drew me into craft beer, so that's also another reason why I wanted to try this. So this is actually pretty it's more translucent than I was expecting given the style, but I guess I'm just so used to seeing hazy IPAs now, you know. I think that everything's gonna be like super cloudy, but this is definitely cloudy, but it's not. I mean, you could still kind of see through it with about a finger's worth of a pretty fluffy white head. Ooh, that aroma is really nice. There's a lot of spices going on in there. There's definitely some clove, some chamomile, which is, I know there's not chamomile in this, but I'm picking up something that's similar to chamomile. A little bit of like a doughy character. There's like a slight bit of earthy hop to it too. It almost smells like a really nice traditional Belgian saison without like the hop character. Like, so if you took out the hops and just replaced it with like a bunch of or spices or like spicy esters, that's kind of what this reminds me of. It smells really nice though. So it's been a really long time since I've had Hoegaarden, and at least in the U.S., Hoegaarden is considered like the classic, probably most traditional Belgian wit. I can't think of one that's maybe Wittekirk, maybe, but I still would say Hoegaarden's probably number one. It's been a really long time since I had that. So the thing about this, I really like it because it does have that really nice spicy herbal character. in the forefront. And it actually does have a little bit of a herbal hop character too, to just give it a little bitterness. But there's kind of like that background of it kind of just reminds me of like beet sugar that I get out of a lot of Belgian beers, that sometimes almost comes off as like cardboardy to me. But it's weird. It's different than oxidation. To me, oxidation is like wet cardboard. This, like, that beet sugar taste is more like fresh cardboard. It's really strange. But I think it's something that comes from Belgian candy sugar, which I don't think that there's any. It's probably not going to see it here, but I wouldn't expect there to be candy sugar in the Belgian wit beer. Definitely in like the Trappist ales, but I wouldn't expect it to be in this. But I'm kind of getting a little bit of it, and it's not off-putting to the point where I don't like it, but it's something that I kind of wish it wasn't there, and I just wish it was more dry than it is. It does have a little bit of that like estery perm character, like the smell of a hair salon, which I do get from a lot of wit beers. But usually that's something I get more from American wit beers. So I do like it, and I understand that it's really traditional. It's hard to say, because if I wanted like a really good wit beer, this would probably be something that I would reach for. So I will give it that credit, but it still has something that I wish I could change about it, if that makes sense. But in general execution, I think it's really good, and now having this, there's a lot of things I really like about it that makes me want to go back and try some of the other traditional Belgian wit beers. But I guess I'm just generally more of a fan of like super, super dry stuff, so I wish this was a little more dry than it is. But given that, I could see certain scenarios where this would be a really good beer to drink. It is still very thirst quenching. It is really tasty. You know, anytime I say something negative about a beer, unless I'm really pushing it, it's usually like a nitpicky thing, and that's what it is with this. But I will say this is definitely one of the best Belgian wits I've ever had. The only thing I will like, it's pretty good and crisp, but it's still, there's nothing about it that like really, really, really sticks out that makes me think it's like amazing where I would want to go buy a bunch of it. So now that I'm rethinking it, I'm just going to call this one a drink. I don't think I would buy this again. It's not a bad beer. If I was at a bar that had like a very slight selection, I might buy it. But other than that, I don't know if I would. So yeah, I think that's all I got on this one. Please like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you think, and I look forward to doing the next one. Thanks.